everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Hearthstone. Didn't make a lot of progress last time. Let's see if we can try better here. Let's play as the Hunter and the Paladin, even though the Paladin is... No, we were playing as the Hunter. Who else were we? We were playing Druid and Hunter, I guess. Oops. So, Paladin and Warrior this time is what we'll be playing. I meant to split it there, but whatever. Start with Warrior, keep on playing. I've figured out what it's gonna take to get my server restored, hopefully. And unfortunately, I don't know what I did, but it's popping up an error message every few minutes asking if it should continue to retry. And I keep it's Y, N, and A. And on Linux, at least my understanding of it is the A means all, as in yes to all. So I keep hitting A enter, but it keeps popping back up. So I've got a second keyboard that is talking to my server in the next room over, and every few minutes I just hit A and then enter on that keyboard, and this may take months, may take weeks, it may take days, I don't know. There's no real accounting for how long it will take. But at the end of all of that, it should actually be able to restore all the data so that I can start doing some major like cleanup work. I have some big plans, as it were. There we go.
Back to work.
I definitely have some big plans for my server once it gets back up there. I'm even hoping to start working down the path of maybe having enough room to back up all my videos. I don't know if I talked about it or not, but I hate everything a YouTube channel that I don't watch and had never even heard of got bullied or pulled for something, and a lot of YouTubers were all up in arms about it, and a lot of people are just not happy with YouTube again. It comes and goes in waves. I believe it's just how this works. Go and kill that guy. And then kill this guy. Next turn I want to play this guy. This would be 2 1-1s.
No
That's
problem.
probably the right
No
thing
problem.
in their turn.
Job's done.
Who dares summon me?
Let's see. If this guy kills that guy, he would not do any damage. So go ahead and do this. In the turn. So yeah, that it really isn't a big issue to me that that guy got pulled off, and then he got back. I'm pretty sure. Too. I just the right move, the obviously the correct move, is to
Thank you.
is gonna be to get rid of, to back up all my videos. Right now there's not any big new channel that makes sense to go to. If there was, I would definitely consider it, but I don't know where you would go.
What we do.
Stink.
Will you just shut up? Oh, wow, annoying.
Job done. Buying or selling.
So yeah, I do want to back up my server and start and download all the videos and have them backed up. The Witness is out, and I do have a couple of legitimate reasons why I might not want to play The Witness. It's made by Jonathan Blow, who his last video, his last game, was Braid, and that one got content ID'd a lot as far as the audio, and it also
Job's done.
it also was a very difficult game, Braid, and at a certain point I just couldn't get past a certain level that irritated me quite a lot. So if I do play The Witness and the audio and it gets content ID'd a lot, that's a big deal. Or if I get into it and the game is really difficult, that's a big deal too. Wow, nice play. Nice play there, actually.
A fight, count me
So yeah, that's a reason why not to play The Witness. What else was I gonna talk about? There was something. I don't know. I would really like to get towards the Halloween, but man, that's still 5 months. I've got 5 more months to go through. He's down to 2.
I can ease your pain.
Hey, I won. Got lucky there. I could have possibly lost, but it wasn't highly likely. Alright, so let's just stick with the warrior since the paladin is already at max level. There's no real reason to play as him. I don't know what games I'm gonna play. That is certainly an issue. I probably have an overage of point-and-click adventure games, and I don't want to go into 2 time slots with that.
victory or death.
I probably have an overage of Lego games, but that is its own special time slot, so same issue really. AAA games. We've got some old AAA games that we can play when we get past Dead Island and Mirror's Edge, and I'm gonna play Dead Island, and that's probably gonna be a considerably long game. If if I'm not careful, I'm gonna leave You Don't Know Jack right in the dust though, so I need to force myself in between each game to record a little bit until I decide I'm not gonna do that anymore. And then if I decide I'm not gonna play You Don't Know Jack anymore, then I need to put the next game in there. What if I stick with You Don't Know Jack? What very well may happen is I'll just have this really late into the future scheduled one time slot versus the others, and that is not ideally what I would want.
Back to work.
Yeah, I guess I can get rid of it. This is a bad way to get rid of a divine shield.
Thank you.
That's a real bad way to do it.
I fear Yeti.
Let's see. Sadly, if I do this and kill this guy, I probably won't be able to use this very much. We'll try. I hope I can power through stacking, that would be nice. Stacking is a strange game to put in the point and click adventure style, and I probably shouldn't be doing it, but I already said I was gonna do it, so whatever. Take that one.
Ready your lance, Kerr.
And in the turn. Stacking is really not a point and click adventure, but it is a somewhat similar puzzle game. I set up the Halloween games too by the old schedule, so there's no Lego game that's going to be a Halloween game.
Behold the
None of the Lego games are scary intentionally. They're intentionally not made to not be scary, so yeah. I did have a kiddie game though.
That was a mistake.
You wanna blow something up?
Yep, I've lost. Let's go ahead and just lose on our own terms.
Well played.
I really don't know. I guess we're just playing Warrior all today. Really don't know what to squeeze in. I haven't looked at my library in a while. This is part of the problem. I need to go in there and just start looking at some of the other games I'm covering.
Garrosh versus Valera.
Watch your back.
Victory or death.
See, I just don't know what I'm doing with my time slots right now. It's the real issue. If You Don't Know Jack right now is a pretty mature game show that's going on. Hearthstone is probably less mature.
Job's done.
In this, well, more mature actually, in the sense that I probably don't have as many dirty jokes as the questions in You Don't Know Jack, although it's more of a talk show type thing, which you put late at night to help people sleep, and then the 7 o'clock thing after Hearthstone is just
So
really
many
late night
options.
stuff. Can I get rid of the 7 o'clock time slot? Is that what I can do?
So many
You shall
options.
not pass.
If I replaced You Don't Know Jack with the 7 o'clock time slot, that would be one thing I could do, but I don't think that's the right move. I think if anything, it is the right move to play 2 AAA games in that section. Because in reality, when AAA title games, which is a phrase that I use, but isn't very good, a good descriptor. When big budget, long playtime games is what they need to be called. Long playtime games when they come out, there is usually 2 a month, and it takes me about a month to cover one of them, so I kinda always do need 2 time slots, particularly while we're in the middle of trying to catch up. Let's see, do I want to split damage between all other characters?
Wanna blow something up?
Let's try it. Come on. Darn it.
Back to work.
I had hoped for a better result than that.
Job done.
I guess I could have done this. Oh yeah, I guess I could have. That was stupid actually. Real dumb. I should have played this instead of this, and then he would have been strong enough to kill it, and then he wouldn't
So
be at
many
risk of
options.
being killed by the face. Which is probably what's gonna happen.
Pandaria will be ours.
Hey, that he didn't attack. That's interesting.
Practice makes perfect.
Let's see.
No problem.
This one. Destroy that one. Attack. Attack. Nice move. I think I've got this. Might even want to hold back a little bit. I definitely need to put as big a buffer as possible between Lego Batman and what I'm gonna play next, which is, I don't know, Lego Batman 2 probably would be my guess. And as big a buffer as possible is as big as you would think, I would bet. Let's see.
On guard.
This one.
No problem.
This one. This one. That one. Going and playing Lego Batman 2 would be a good redemption story to Batman 1, which wasn't a super fun experience. But then I kind of need to get that in there because we know Batman 2 is going to have all kinds of content IDs like Batman 1 is. So here we are, we've got her story going somewhere that it probably doesn't even need to go into.
Back to work.
We have just because I wanted to play that game. We have You Don't Know Jack that's not getting recorded enough. We have plenty of Hearthstone now. We haven't even started Dead Island. So I don't know when the Dead Island needs to happen. So we have Stacking, Dead Island, Lego Batman 2, and You Don't Know Jack. That's like 4 videos
So
that
many
I'm probably
options.
behind. Well, by my crazy standards, at least I'm probably behind on all of those. But I might be getting behind on them in realistic terms too, because every day moves forward. We're almost to the end of January. A month has been done, and I probably got another month ahead in the course of a month, but I don't know if I got anything above
Too
that.
soon.
And the goal would be to
So
make
many options.
more videos in a month than videos that air in a month. And I hope to be able to do that. Depending on how long her story goes, will determine whether I release that as 2 episodes per day or 1. Ideally, I'd like to release it as 1, but it went longer than I thought. Hey, we've got 3 victories. That's good. Let's keep on keeping on. I didn't look up the time for how long it takes to beat her story, and that time in particular for that game would have been really random.
Bring it on!
It was about 30 hours, I would say, for me, but for other people it might be a lot slower. No, it was about 15 hours for me. What am I saying? 30 hours? That's not right at all. Couldn't possibly be. I did 30-minute episodes, and I have less than 30, so that's 15
Ready
hours.
for action!
Play this. Deal 1 damage. Give it +2 attack. No thanks.
Job's done.
So many games are getting pushed back right now.
Back to work!
It definitely has lowered my confidence in the video game industry, but I shouldn't have had any confidence in them anyways. But it's disheartening. We started very much with 2016 scheduled to be packed full of games, and so far Rise of the Tomb Raider is something I'm skipping. The Witness is something I'm almost certainly skipping, just as a time. The plan, of course, was to in 2017 start buying new games, and even though it would have been nice to start doing it earlier. Let's just go ahead and get rid of this guy that way. The scheduling and the budgeting just didn't really line up for 2016. Now that doesn't mean that we couldn't start early. If we can get into the 10th month of 2016 and be scheduled and set and good, then with old videos ready to go, it wouldn't really surprise me if I could then pull off something. And start buying games in the holiday season. If not all of them, a lot of them. I'm not sure holiday season for PC gaming is really the best time anyways, because a lot of people,
Squire,
a lot of games are going to be console exclusives
Ready,
until
sir.
later, much like how we saw with Rise of the Tomb Raider. Let's see. What do I want? This guy's 3 damage, this guy's 2, this guy's 4.
No
So
problem.
if we do this, it'll take both of them to get rid of that guy.
Job's done.
Rocket League is on sale right now. I thought about getting that. It had it down to about $13. Seems like a decent price for that game. Darn it. Used my trick against me.
A fight! You wanna blow something up?
Right, so hit this guy,
Everyone!
then hit this guy,
Everyone!
then hit this
Get
guy.
in here! Everyone! Get in here!
There we go.
Well played.
That is the total combination that you would absolutely want. Change some stuff around. Yeah, so that gives me a 6-5, and then I can play this,
Don't have enough mana.
and let's see,
Hoo-hoo, yeah, you!
attack this guy, attack this guy, attack the man, attack the turn. I think I'm gonna take a look between this recording and the next at my Steam library just to get a better idea. I think I need that. Well, let's see if I kill this guy and then do 5, or if I do this and this. I think that was the right move. I hope.
Well played.
But yeah, I definitely am seeing a lack of understanding of the schedule right now. I'm gonna get them both out there if I have to throw them out there at the last moment. Alright, so we only need 2 more victories. That's good. We may get this recording session done in less than 4 recordings, which would be okay. We're doing 45 minutes, which episodes, which means 45-minute things.
Garrosh versus Jaina!
You asked for it.
Jimquisition did a
death.
pretty bad job, in my opinion, about ranting against why episodic games suck. Talking about Hitman. I think he did a bad job because he's actually defending things like Tales from the Borderland, which, in all honesty, are just part of the problem too. And Tales from the Borderlands would have been better. in my opinion, if it wasn't episodic, just as much as everything else. So he was defending that game, saying it was planned all along to be that way, which really doesn't sound like a good enough, a useful or a acceptable excuse, versus Hitman, which is seemingly falling apart at the seams as it's being released, would be my explanation of it. They just couldn't get anything but the first section done. But to me, personally, it's just all the same. I think in all reality, I should have two of those, play two right on top of each other. That'd be a 5-4, 20 damage on the weapon alone. Tales from the Borderlands would be a much better game if it wasn't episodic, in my opinion. I can't prove it, and I know they don't want to not make episodic games, but as far as my interpretation of it, I think it would have been better. I think even The Walking Dead, which was episodic, would have been a lot better if it wasn't episodic, because they handed each episode of The Walking Dead one to different writers, and different writers wrote the characters differently, and it is noticeable, considerably noticeable. It makes poor Clementine feel like this character who just bounces back and forth from being a little girl to being a completely mature young lady, and just the level of attitude and demeanor changes drastically. And then it changes even more drastically, and her demeanor, I think, is pretty set and standard in the second season, so it feels more like they had only one writer do that. But it may have been just that the writers worked better together. The problem with writers, as somebody who has never worked with a writer, I'm going to give you an uninformed opinion here. But my theory is the problem with writers is that they want to write and own everything. And on top of that, so does everybody else who is anywhere around the writer. So the director wants to write and own everything, the producer wants to write and own everything. Everybody wants to put their 2 cents into, and then it's a production by committee if you allow that to happen. And it turns up with a terrible script, whether for a game or a movie or TV. The right way to do it is to only have one writer, one vision, and stick with it. And trust that one writer's vision. And hopefully they don't go crazy in the middle of it, which has happened. I like to say Babylon 5 is a good example of this, where you have J. Michael Straczynski just like writing and producing almost all of the episodes in the entire series. And it feels like it can. But then I also would say he's probably gone crazy at this point, because everything after the original TV series and maybe the movies, the original 5 movies, if you include the prequel as the first movie, it seems like everything after that has just been turned into really awful interpretations and not very good additions. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. And same, a better example, I guess a more relatable example, is you have George Lucas and his vision for the original Star Wars things, but his vision being kept in check by his wife and others, versus his vision
is power,
completely
and I
unchecked
know a lot.
by him going crazy and doing the prequels.
I learn.
So Star Wars isn't quite the same example there, because left to his own devices, I kind of believe that, let's see, I have no way of killing this guy except for this way. This is a strange way to do it. Attack there, in the turn. So yeah, to get back to the beginning of that conversation, episodic games are always going to suck. Don't buy episodic games, don't make episodic games. There is never a good example. There are lucky examples that somehow work despite being episodic. There is never a good example that it should be episodic. And that's not just true for video games, it's true for everything. If George R.R. Martin had written all of the Song of Fire and Ice or Game of Thrones books, as they're better known,
I wonder.
Before he released even the first one, it would have been a better
Your
series.
magic shall not
If
save.
J.K. Rowling had written all of Harry Potter and before she released the first one, it would definitely, majorly be a better
Ready to
story.
flee!
Back to work.
Paste and then return. It's true for everything. So ideally, if you want to be a really great writer of a book or a video game or TV series, you need to just write everything. Don't have a planned trilogy. Don't try to do episodic, which is the same thing. Planned trilogy is just a plan for it to be episodic and only have 3. Episodic by itself might have more or less than 3. Don't plan for Half-Life 3 to be a trilogy and then end up creating all these side quest Half-Life things. Like Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Half-Life 2 Episode 2 type stuff, and then never finish the Half-Life 2 episode story. I don't believe they did. All they should have done is just written Half-Life, the game,
What to do?
and
what
then
to do?
been done. And that's not to say that you can't come back and add a sequel. You just shouldn't think of that in your mentality. The sequel should be, this game is really popular, people want more of it, let's add more. I think Portal 2 is a great example, because you had a total and complete story in Portal 1. And I personally never for a second thought that they were going to come back and have a sequel to that. I thought it was going to be a standalone one game, and then Portal 2 comes back and it's easily added on to the story, easily does it. Now, will there be a Portal 3? It'd be nice, but I doubt it. I think there is probably a problem with their source engine. in general. I think that when it just gets to the core of it, their engine cannot hold up to modern engines. And instead of Valve working on the Source engine, they've been running Steam, it seems like, and I think if they wanted to fix it, what they need to do is abandon the Source engine, go to Unreal Engine or Unity, one or the other, and or even Epic Engine if they could get that one to work. But they need to go to somebody else's engine and just see if they can make it on that. The problem with all this is, of course, hey, I won. I don't know how I won, but I won. I don't think I should have won that game. The problem with using other people's engine is it then costs too much. There's too much in the licensing fees, and they're trying to fix that. The markets maybe are slightly adjusting for that. Am I gonna play another game is the question. We're going 40 minutes, and if I go another minute, we'll try one more game, I guess. Yeah, the markets are trying to adjust for that a little bit, but it still doesn't make a lot of sense. And we, in the last few years, have seen a lot of companies try to make their own internal engine to save money, and then their games just don't work as well, or the coding that gets put into an internal engine to make it work as well then does not get spread around and useful. I think a great example of that would be, what is the name of that game? There was this game that came out. I don't think it was called Rust, because there's a game called Rust now, and yeah, I have no clue what the name of this game is. Well, I'll just describe it. There was this game that came out using an engine that they'd been working on for a long time. It worked pretty good, and it looked really good. And then it just had, like, it missed something on the feeling of it or something, where not a lot of people played it. It was pretty much like Borderlands. It had come out a few years or a year after Borderlands, so, but it looked more photorealistic. It had John Goodman, I believe, voicing one of the characters. But I cannot remember the name of it. I may own it on Steam too. And if I do, I will try to play it. I played it only a little bit and I stopped.
Cleanse the sun well.
It was right around the time that Bulletstorm came out, and that was a piece of garbage game I played. So.
Ready to flee.
So my priorities are probably messed up. But when I was playing games back then, I was also working a job that was taking up way too much of my time. And so, strange priorities would
Stop moving.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't remember what that game was. But that it is a great example, if I could name the game, of somebody working on an internal engine, making good progress on it too, making it useful, but then just nobody really wanting to use somebody else's engine at the time.
Stop
And
moving!
I kind of feel like that might still be the case. Let's see.
Ready to flee!
That in the turn. Guess I could have hit the face too. Probably would have been a smarter move. Here we go. Like that.
Stop
Attack here.
moving!
Attack phase.
Job
End the
done.
turn. Hurry up, game. Let's hurry up. We've been going long enough. I'd like to win here. I don't think I am going to. Why would you play that on your own character? What is this guy doing? Why would he damage his own character in a separate turn? Even if you were gonna damage, like the backstab is 0 mana, you could have played that and done whatever you were gonna do later. I think I've lost. Let's see. Can I play these both? Nope.
Did
We gotta play
someone
this.
say bomb?
Job's done.
Yep, I've lost. Let's go ahead and end the turn and let him win. Oh well, at least we made some decent progress here. I'm gonna take a break between this recording and I'm gonna go look at my library. See if I can get a better idea. That's partially what playing Hearthstone is all about. It's about me talking about what my plans are for my channel, and right now I don't understand my own plans and my schedule. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.